We're back in Mountlake Terrace with our show sponsor, Red Onion Burgers, and the owner, Sean Richards. Sean, I'm like a lot of people these days. I've got a busy schedule. I barely have time to find food when I'm home. And sometimes on the weekends, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to watch football. You guys are making it easy for us with Uber Eats. Tell me a little bit about that program.
It's easy to do with Uber Eats. You can get Red Onion Burgers delivered to your home. All you got to do is get on your app, order your food. It'll be delivered within 15 to 20 minutes, and voila, you're watching football.
Easy enough. Enjoy food from the comfort of your couch. Red Onion Burgers.
Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Whipple here with Steve Willits, and let's talk about some news that made a splash this week.
Very nicely done. I like that segue.
Very good.
Very good. We're going to talk swimming as the Edmonds School District Championships for the girls took place over the weekend. And Mountlake Terrace, the Hawks, and this is one of those things where it's been so long, nobody seems to know the answer. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks won the Edmonds School District Championships over the weekend. And we know it's been a very long time. We seem to think that it might be 20 years plus even since they last won the district championship. So congratulations to the Hawks. Want to mention a couple of swimmers by name throughout the entire school district. Not a big surprise here. Morgan Broadhead, who we had on the show just not too long ago from Edmonds-Woodway. She took first place in the 100 freestyle and the 100 breaststroke. She was also part of the 400 freestyle relay team that also featured Angela King, Alexis Song, and Ilaria Simon, who was also in the studio. Yeah. So congratulations to them. Other swimmers that we want to mention from Mountlake Terrace, Carly Stave, almost messed that name up, Emma Van Hooser, Sally Benedict, and Bree Enriquez won the 200-yard freestyle relay. Bree also won the 100-yard backstroke. So a nice night in the pool for quite a few of our swimmers in the area, and congratulations to the Hawks. Very interesting night, by the way, too. I went over there and caught the very tail end of that event, and nothing like going to a swimming event in which one part of the building, swimming championships are taking place, another part, Halloween parties for the kids. So
oh boy.
A lot of activity going on over at the Lynnwood pool, but I think the kids probably had a great time that night. I think the swimmers from Mountlake Terrace even better.
Yeah, and you and I were talking about that. I looked at the scores and just saw some of the individual winners, and there were so many people who weren't Terrace, and I thought, how does that work in swimming that you could have a win?
Yeah, and really for the Mountlake Terrace, it was more about just consistency. They didn't pick up as many individual championships as maybe some of the other schools, and like a Morgan Broadhead from Edmonds-Woodway, but just top to bottom, a lot of swimmers on that team this year. A team that struggled for numbers in the past.
Yeah.
And this year they've got it going in the right direction. So best wishes to them and the rest of the swimmers for that matter as they get ready now to head on to districts and then perhaps the state championships coming up here in a few weeks.
Very good. And let's talk football.
Yeah, second to last week of the football season this past Friday night. Edmonds-Woodway, no big shocker here. They defeated Shorecrest 38-7. I know Riley Chappelle had a couple touchdowns. Capaccio Cherry up around 200 yards again. Edmonds-Woodway with a big game coming up on Friday night. Should also mention, too, we just found out before we started rolling a few scheduling changes this week as they are playing Snohomish Friday night. It's going to be 7 p.m. over at Edmonds Stadium. Original start time was 8 p.m., so it's been moved back an hour. The reason it's been moved back is because Meadowdale's game against Olympia has been shifted from Friday night to Thursday night. So Meadowdale Thursday night, 7 p.m., Edmonds-Woodway Snohomish 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. Friday night. The Edmonds-Woodway game is huge. Edmonds-Woodway, if they win that game, they will be the outright Wesco 3A South champions. If they lose to Snohomish, who's a game behind them, they could potentially end up in a three-way tie for first with Snohomish and Everett, who is also one game back. So Edmonds-Woodway would love to have that championship outright and be able to hang that banner. So best of luck to the Warriors. And best of luck to all the teams, really. And best of luck to the Lynnwood Royals. They picked up their first win of the season last Friday night on homecoming night. They played Marysville-Getchell. They picked up a 30-13 victory. We had to help them celebrate it. We brought two of their players into the studio for an interview. Here's the interview. The Lynnwood Royals football team picking up a very big victory on Friday night as they defeated the Marysville-Getchell Chargers 30-13. Big for a couple of reasons. One of which was it was homecoming night. The other, it was their first win of the year. And with us right now, two of the players from that team, two seniors, Hani Ghebrehiwet and Ryan Truong. Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it. Start off with you, Ryan. I know you had one of the big touchdowns early in the game. Been a rough year for you guys. You haven't gotten as many wins as you wanted, obviously, and haven't had the success on the field. But I've got to think that getting that win on Friday felt pretty good.
Yeah, it was great. Like, it was a different feeling than just all that the whole 7 weeks that we've been through has been rough, and just this win just made it like our team just more energy.
Absolutely. Now, Hani, what was it like in the locker room after the game? I've got to think that were they treating it like it was a playoff win? I mean, when you get a victory, it's always kind of sweet, isn't it?
I mean, it was pretty nice in the locker room. We just had music blasting. Everybody was having fun. I mean, it felt like a relief to win the homecoming game. We had to keep like the streak going. So, but it was just a lot of music playing, and everybody dancing, having a good time in the locker room.
Now, always a good time when you're getting that win. By the way, pouring down rain the other night. It was brutal out there, and you guys seem to take advantage of it early on. Definitely want to mention one guy by name, Emmanuel Jackson Wilson, your running back. Very first play from scrimmage on the night. He runs around, I think it was a sweep to the left, 55-yard touchdown. Ryan, at that point, did you just kind of sense that maybe this was going to be a special evening for you guys?
Like after that play, this is gonna like E-Man. I already knew E-Man was gonna run the whole defense up, so like it was pretty much like a game setting, I should say.
Absolutely. And now, Henny, I know you're out for the seasons, but you're still kind of on the sideline acting as a coach almost in a way and helping out. What was it like on the sideline when you guys jumped out to that big lead? I mean, you guys had 3 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes of the game. Was it just electric over there?
I mean, yeah, when he first ran it for a 50-yard touchdown, I was like, oh, this is about to be a big night for him, because I knew like he was working for that for like the past 5 weeks. And after we scored the 20 points, I was like, this is gonna be a good game. This might be the one. So it was energetic on the sideline.
The player to give you the 20th point was this guy right here. Ryan, you scored the 3rd touchdown of the night. Walk me through that play and tell me what happened.
So when Nate got in the huddle, he told me the ball was gonna come to me. He's like, you're gonna get in the touchdown. Like, all right. I was like, all right. So then once the play went through, all I was thinking in my head was that just get in the touchdown, and just broke a tackle, and then got in the touchdown, and just the whole crowd just went enormous, and just like it was a great feeling.
Very nice. Again, we mentioned earlier it was homecoming week, homecoming game. Henny, you're the ASB vice president this year at the school. Tell me a little bit about what homecoming means to the Royals, is not only maybe the students but the alumni as well.
I mean, homecoming is like a special feeling. It's when everybody gets together, and we had like a theme of home this year. So we wanted to make everything feel like it was a home. So at Lynnwood, we wanted people to feel safe and stuff. So we tried to make everything around homecoming be based on like the concept of home. So everything that we did, from the assemblies to the dance, everything had a community feel to it. So it was kind of a busy week, but it went great.
And as an ASB officer, do you enjoy homecoming, or at some point does it almost become overwhelming and more work than it's worth? I mean, how much at the end of the week are you just ready to just kind of jump on a couch and just sleep for about 24 hours straight?
I mean, that's the majority part of it, because like homecoming does take a lot of work. But then when you see it pay off, like the dance, when you see people having fun at the assemblies, then it kind of feels like, okay, it was all worth it. So it's not just working for no reason. I mean, it's a lot of work, and it's probably the most overwhelming thing to happen during the school year. But like it pays off at the end, so I was glad it happened.
Very nice. Yeah. And Ryan, is it more meaningful when you get a win on homecoming night, or is it just another game?
It was meaningful because for the past 3 years we've been winning. Because before that we had a all losing streak of homecoming. We haven't won homecoming in like I don't know how many years. But then my sophomore year, once we won our first homecoming, and then we started winning homecomings. So it was great to keep the streak going alive. And yeah, it's pretty much that. 3
homecoming victories in a row. You'll leave a nice legacy for the class coming up behind you. Let's talk a little bit about this team right now. I know, again, it's been a rough go at times, but a young team, it's a rebuilding team. A lot of seniors on that squad that made the playoffs last year. And maybe, Henny, I'll start with you, because I know you help out with some of the defensive players a little bit. Tell me who some of the key defensive players are on this Royal squad right now.
Right now, I think it would be our D tackle, Frank Gugui, safety, Jaden Acosta, Russell at corner, and DeLon. I think those are the key players that we have. They make a lot of big plays. Russell got 2 interceptions on Friday. Jaden was flying around making big hits. Frank was making almost every single tackle, and DeLon always flying around. So I think those are the biggest players on defense.
You got a pretty good outside linebacker that wears number 25 too, sitting right next to you. Tell me a little bit about Ryan's game.
I mean, he's just the leader out there. He's like the quarterback of the defense, and he always knows what's happening. It's kind of like he's playing Madden, so he knows what's going to happen. He calls the right plays, and he just keeps the defense riled up. So he's a pretty good leader.
Went with the Madden analogy. I like that, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, talk about the offense a little bit. Who are we, besides yourself, and we have already mentioned Emmanuel out there a little bit. Who else are we watching?
Pocket Boyce or Robert Boyce. He's been out there like Hani. He took a year off, but he's rebuilt from that. He's been a major part of our receiver core. He plays the outside X receiver, and I don't think last night he had I don't know, what was it? Yeah.
So a lot of good players in there. And the line is fairly new this year too, right?
Yeah, the line's very new. It's very young. It's very young. We have like a bunch of sophomores. Who's it? Christian Navarro. He's a junior. He's been like the top dog lineman for us, and he's working hard throughout the whole summer. And yeah, he's been really big impact to our line.
What's it been like for you from the standpoint of last year was such a senior heavy team? So that one group there graduates, they're gone, and then it feels like the next group coming in behind them is the younger group.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, a very sophomore heavy team. Now it almost feels like your class, the class of 18, is kind of the bridge between the two. Has it been unusual for you? Because I've got to think in one regard, you won a lot more games last year, but in another regard, as a senior, you're kind of a leader on this team right now. I mean, are you enjoying it in a different sort of way? Is that fair to say?
As a leader's perspective, like I want our team to be like together and not get out of like hand, not players fighting with each other and all that stuff. So like for me, it's hard to like control a whole team like that, but since I know like everyone personally, like I can get them like in the right mind and get them like on a good track.
Very nice. And Hani, what kind of a role has the coaching staff played this year? I know, got to know Coach Bankett fairly well with doing interviews and whatnot. I always enjoy talking with him. What has it been like for him and that staff there, and how have they handled you guys this year?
I mean, they've been handling us pretty well, I would say, because they didn't like give up on us, and they just every single week they come with the mindset that it's a new week, and they should try to keep our heads up and motivated. Like you see players missing practice, or you see us with our heads down, and they try to keep us our morale up and stuff like that. So they've been like a great coaching staff, and every single week they've making us work for our and giving us lessons on how to get better. So they've been pretty great.
Very nice. So one game left on the schedule right now, and possibly a second one. But the game we know about this coming Friday night at Everett, 8 p.m. start time, and then maybe a crossover game the following week. So we'll stay tuned for that one. So guys, your senior season's football just about wrapping up. What can we expect from the two of you for the rest of the school year? Henny, I know as an ASB vice president, I've got to think you're pretty busy already. Any other activities planned for you for the rest of the school year?
Yeah, I'm an active member of Black Student Union, and we have to start planning for the Martin Luther King Assembly, so that's probably going to be a big part of my life for the next couple of months. And then after that, it's just going to be more ASB work and filling out scholarships for college.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Senior seasons or senior years are always busy. Ryan, what about you? What activities do you have coming up in the future?
I have Key Club. I'm involved with a lot of clubs, like Key Club, and there's Triumph, which is like a branch off of like band, and it helps with like the food drive, Lunar Food Drive. Also, this VSA, it's a Vietnamese Student Association. It's just like kind of like BSU, but like involved more in like the Vietnamese culture, trying to spread it out. Also, being a leader in the drumline, because off and on the field, I'm like a leader in school too. So I have to take care of whoever's on the drumline, and just make sure they have a good day and all that stuff. So yeah.
Interestingly enough, when we had Lynnwood players in here last year, Jacob Laban was one of them, also a drumline guy. So I don't know what the connection is there, but it seems like there's something with the football team and the drumline.
Yeah, there's a lot of football players on the band. Yeah, there's quite a few on the band, and Jacob Laban was part of the drumline last year, and he was big trouble sometimes.
we know Jacob fairly well, so we hope he's doing well there, certainly. And then, guys, again, both seniors, anything in regards to colleges yet? I know, Hannah, you just mentioned it a minute ago. You're going to be filling out some papers here. Any idea where we might want to go next year at this point? And I'll start with you on that question, Hannah.
Hopefully, my top two choices are University of Washington and Morehouse College. So hopefully one of those.
Very nice. And then, Ryan, what about you? Where would you like to go?
UW-Bothell and Cascadia for computer science, all that stuff. Yeah.
And Henny, you mentioned to me earlier you might want to study business management. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm hoping to own my own business one day. So And since UW has a great business program there, I want to get accepted there, go to Foster School of Business, and one day start my own business.
Good for you. So business management, computer science, two young men with very bright futures, but first and foremost, they've got Everett this coming Friday night. Again, Ryan, Hani, thank you both for coming in. Congratulations on a nice victory last week, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Steve, something that we forgot to mention about Ryan, he was the senior prince for homecoming.
Oh, very nicely done. Yeah, so a big week for him all around.
Yeah.
He gets the victory, scores a touchdown in the game,
Yep.
and he's the senior prince.
That's right.
One other player that we want to mention too, and we mentioned him during the interview, Emmanuel Jackson Wilson, close to 200 yards rushing and scored 3 touchdowns in that game. And for his efforts, we're going to make him the Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week this week. So we'll try to get a picture of Mr. Jackson Wilson with his shirt on this week, and hopefully he enjoys that. So congratulations to him, and congratulations to the Royals football team all around. One other mention I wanted to also make, we talked about before the segment started how Meadowdale was moving their game from Friday to Thursday this week. They're doing that because they've already clinched the number 4 seed in the Wesco 3A South Division. That's the good news. They made the playoffs. The bad news is that by being the number 4 seed, they have to play the number 4 seed up to the north next Tuesday. So that's October 31st. And then if you win that game, you make it to the playoffs, where you then advance to play in the probably the number 1 team in the state that Friday. So a busy week coming up for Meadowdale. So they're going to wrap up the regular season against Olympia, and then they're going to either head up to Squalicum, Stanwood, or Arlington. Remains to be determined. That's next Tuesday night, and then if they win that game, another game on Friday. So Mavericks, hope you guys are well practiced and you're in good shape, because you're going to be playing a lot of football, we hope, in the next few days.
Yeah. Oof. All right. Well, we have some soccer to talk about.
We do. Soccer playoffs start this week as they wrap up their season right now. As it stands right now, Edmonds-Woodway currently in 3rd place. Top 4 teams advance automatically into the double elimination tournament, which starts next Saturday. So Edmonds-Woodway, don't know the opponent, don't know a time, but at some point on Saturday, they will more than likely have a home game at Edmonds Stadium to start off that tournament. Meadowdale and Lynnwood, they're both vying for spots in that tournament also. It looks right now like both will probably have play-in games this week. Matter of fact, we're pretty certain at this point that Meadowdale will host one of those play-in games. So more than likely, Meadowdale will play on either Wednesday or Thursday of this week. Probably an evening game over at Edmonds Stadium. That will be a loser-out game. So if they get knocked off in that game, they're done. If they win, they'll also advance to that same tournament we just spoke of for Edmonds-Woodway. Lynnwood also trying to vie for a spot there. Perhaps, hard to say right now, a lot could happen in the next few days. Could even be Meadowdale versus Lynnwood. So who knows? We'll see. But at any rate, all 3 of those teams getting ready for postseason play this week.
Okay. And volleyball?
Volleyball, very similar. District playoffs coming up. They're right around the corner. Interesting week coming up for 2 of our teams in particular. Lynnwood right now is in 4th place. Very similar to the soccer tournament. Top 4 automatically go to the tournament, the district tournament. That's the good news. They're in 4th place. Bad news, they have 2 games left in their season. They're against Arlington and Snohomish, 2 of the top 3 teams in the conference. So we'll see if Lynnwood can hold on to that number 4 spot. Right behind them is Edmonds-Woodway in 5th place. And Edmonds-Woodway, considerably easier schedule with Marysville, Getchell, and Shorecrest coming up. So, again, very similar thing in the sense that these 2 teams could be involved with play-in matches, which would start on Saturday of next week. Or if they finish in the top 4, they would advance immediately into the tournament, which would start the following Tuesday, Halloween night. So we're hoping that both of those 2 teams at least make it through the play-in on Saturday and can get to that tournament. And one other team we want to talk about, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. Their girls team catching fire at the right time. They struggled early in the season, playing very well right now. They're going to be going down to the 2A tournament coming up. We already know that they're going to advance in some way, shape, or form into that tournament. We just don't know their seeding yet. But the fact that they've played so well lately, we wanted to get to know them a little bit better. So we brought 2 of their seniors in and had a very good conversation with them tonight. Here's our conversation with Candace and Sophie from the Hawks volleyball team. The Mountlake Terrace volleyball team picking up 2 very crucial victories this past week. They've won 3 out of their last 5 matches. And with us right now, 2 of the seniors from that team, Candace Disney, Sophie Parsons. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us.
Of course.
And I want to talk a little bit about the transition of this team into, as you get ready for the playoffs here, real big struggle early on in this season. You lost 7 of your first 8 matches, and then all of a sudden lately, things seem to be evolving and coming together, and at the perfect time, right? You've got districts coming up.
Yeah.
Sophie, I'll start with you. What seems to be the biggest difference between early in the year versus what's been taking place the last couple of weeks?
For sure. In the beginning of the year, we were pretty static throughout those 7 out of the 8 games. There wasn't a lot of change going on. We were working hard, but lately there's been like some good changes that we've had in terms of like rotation or just players or spots. And I think that plus our new work ethic and our new mindset of just like working hard and like having that goal of districts in our head really pushed us in this past couple weeks.
And Candace, Sophie just mentioned some new players in there. Some players coming up from the JV level. Is that what happened?
Yeah, we have 2 freshmen, Kiana Hinckley and Caitlin Scott. So Caitlin Scott has become our libero sometimes. So that's a big role where you have to be a leader on the team. Like you're on the court almost the whole time. And Kiana's been earning a lot of playing time too, playing outside hitter front row, and she really like owns the net a lot of the time. So it's cool to see them just like improving every day in practice and stuff.
Very nice. Let's talk a little bit about some of the personnel on this team and who makes it happen. We're going to get to the two of you here in a moment. I'll have you talk about each other. But before that, Sophie, maybe tell me a little bit about some of the players on defense that we can kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. So since I'm a setter, I play all the way around, so I usually have 2 people with me in the back when I'm in back row. Most of the time it's either Caitlin Scott or Kaylee Heineck, because they switch off libero sometimes. And then I have a wing with me, and that's either Madison Gresh, Isabel Ong. It kind of switches sometimes, but the back row is really important. They give me my passes when I need them to target, and they've been doing a really good job lately. I haven't had to run around a lot, so it's been good.
Very nice. And Candace, what about on the offensive side of things?
We have Zoe. She's 6'2", our tallest player on the team. She gets a lot of blocks, a lot of hits.
And that's Zoe Goodmanson, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she can hit the 10-foot line, which is straight down. So it's nice to see that. And everyone is always getting pumped when she's playing, so it's nice to see that. And then I already talked about Kiana, but she's been a really like key player in our offense. And then there's Mackenzie, who's another outside hitter. She can really pound the ball too. She's good at getting deep balls. And then there's Kiera, a sophomore, and she plays softball, so that's like her main sport. So she has a lot of strength behind her hits too. So it's nice to see that. And then there's Lacey, and she's just been improving so much this season as a middle blocker, and so it's nice to see that too.
Very nice. Now tell me a little bit about each other. I won't force you to talk about yourselves, but Sophie, what does Candace bring to the team? What kind of a teammate is she? What kind of a player is she?
Well, first of all, we're kind of like best friends off the court to start with. So when we're on the court together, especially, like there's just some chemistry between us and the team as well. So like Candace, like it's always, whenever she's on the court, it's always happiness, positivity when we want to. Even when there's some down plays, like she always wants to stay positive and keep the team up, and she gets the ball down when she gets some good sets. Yeah, it's just really fun when she's on there.
And Candace, as far as Sophie, I know she was second team All-League last year. Tell me a little bit about her game and what it's like to play with her.
She's just a stud. Like she's, like she said, she's one of my best friends, like on and off the court. So it's nice to have that bond between your setter, especially because they touch every ball, and she just makes playing the game so much more fun. Like I wouldn't want any other like co-captain by me because I don't know, like she just makes the game so fun. And this year is her first year like going all the way around, so she's been a hitter too, so she's not just setting now, like she can pound the ball down too. So it's nice to see that. She's always so positive.
Positive all around here, you can tell.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the coaches. Sophie, who's your head coach? Tell me a little bit about Renee.
Renee Nguyen. Well, I've been with her ever since JV freshman year, and then she switched to head coach our sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had her from the start for varsity. Wow, we were so appreciative of her. Like, sometimes she can definitely be a disciplinary, but we definitely take it for granted sometimes because it's really useful and positive for us and when we need it. And she's so smart about volleyball and about what we need to do. And when we all listen to her, it just like, it makes the team work, it makes the game work, and it's just really good for us.
Very nice. We should also mention a big week all around. Not only did you get 2 victories last week, it was homecoming week. Candace, homecoming queen, congratulations.
Thank you.
What was that experience like for you?
It was a lot of fun. I was named homecoming queen with Corey Takea because he was king and he's one of my best friends, so that was a lot of fun. We got to do the supersonic together at the football game and at the homecoming assembly. So it was fun.
Very nice. And when we were talking off camera, Sophie mentioned that she can't imagine anybody else who should have been homecoming queen. So kind of nice that you have your friends supporting you on that one too. And since Candace got a crown this week, I would assume you were wearing a crown, or was there any kind of a what kind of attire goes along with being home?
Yeah.
We had a big robe, and then a crown, and then a sash.
There we go. So the crown, the robe, the sash. We thought we had to do something for Sophie too. So we are actually going to make Sophie our Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week for the 2 victories. So
Nice. Thank you very much.
yeah, you can go ahead and you can wear that shirt and you can wear the crown, and the two of you can kind of hang out together with that. But we're going to keep talking volleyball here now
Yes,
too.
please.
So Wesco 3A, a very tough conference.
Yes.
You guys drop down and play 2A when it comes to districts and when you're trying to get to state. Very similar last year in the sense that maybe you didn't have as much success you wanted during the regular season, but then when you get to districts, again, the schools get a little bit smaller at that point. So in some ways it gets, I hate to use the term easier, but in some ways it might be.
Yeah.
What does playing in Wesco 3A do to get you ready for 2A?
Well, especially in the beginning of this season, we've played some really hard teams, some really good teams, and it mentally prepares you in a way that maybe playing some smaller 2A schools can't. So it's definitely good practice for us through the season. And even though like there's not as many dubs on the stat sheet, it's definitely helps us in practice and working on things we can improve on. So it's really beneficial for us.
And Candace, this is a team that last year, once they got to District 2A, you came within one match of making it to the state tournament. And you went on a little bit of a run late in the year. Are you kind of hoping to do the same thing? And does maybe having that experience from districts last year give you just that much more confidence as you head in this year?
Yes, I definitely think that the players from last year, we all like have that drive because we got a taste of what could have been, and so we all want to go out with a bang our senior year. And I know the juniors from last year they want this. And I know the freshmen, they're really competitive too, so they want this too. And I just hope we all keep pushing for it, and I think we can do it. I definitely think we have potential.
Very nice. So we should mention the schedule reads as follows. 1 regular season game left, and that's at Marysville-Getchell on Wednesday night. The seedings are done for the districts based on an RPI computer ranking, based on your win-loss record and strength of schedule and whatnot. As of right now, you guys are in the number 8 spot, and if you're 5 through 8, those 4 teams get home games on Halloween night. So potentially you could be playing at Mountlake Terrace again on October 31st in a loser out game. So the winner goes on to the district double elimination round. The winning team would, or the losing team would then be done for the year. What would it mean for you to get another game at the Terraceum in Mountlake Terrace? Sophie, what would that mean to you?
I've already told so many people about it, so hopefully we get that. Just the vibe that we get playing a home game is just so crazy and so uplifting when we play. So that would definitely benefit us. Even though we can play the same at an away game. It's just when we have our friends and our family and our fans there, it just makes the game a whole lot more fun.
And Candace, for you, I know you guys just had senior night recently, so you kind of got the send off. But would it be nice to be able to play there one more time?
Yeah, for sure. Because we got so many people out for senior night, it'd just be nice to see them again.
Very good. So again, volleyball season coming to a conclusion here fairly shortly. You're both seniors. What other activities are you involved with when you're not playing volleyball? Sophie, I'll start with you.
Well, I played bass in Jazz 1 at Terrace. We went to New York last year. That was a crazy experience. I'm also in the STEM program, so I'm doing a lot of stuff for STEM and working on my senior project because for STEM English 12. I do tattoo, Teens Against Tobacco Use, Honor Society, and I'm just either hanging with friends or playing music.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. No.
Very nice. And Candace, what about you? What other things are you involved with?
When high school volleyball's over, in the previous years I've done club volleyball, but I'm not doing it this year just because of injuries and stuff. But I did choir in the past too, but I haven't really been involved in clubs this year because of work and stuff, but just hanging with friends.
Might be time to enjoy your senior year a little
Yes.
bit. Never anything wrong with that either. And then, of course, college probably looming right around the corner. Where do things stand with that right now? Do you have any ideas as to where the two of you might go or what you want to do in college? Is volleyball in the future in college, Sophie?
It's a dream for sure. It's definitely a goal that is attainable when you work for it. In the past year, especially playing senior year this year, and realizing that, it'd be kind of like cutting myself short if I didn't try and use the talents that I have to go forward. Because playing college ball would just be amazing. So I've been looking into that a lot lately.
Sure. And then Candace, what about you?
I've been talking to Shoreline Community College, and they want me to play for them. So I'm thinking about doing that, but then I've been looking into some universities too. And so I'm just not sure what I want to do yet for sure, but we'll see.
You have some time left still, too.
Yeah.
And then before we end the interview, a little birdie told me something here. I heard the two of you have some singing talents. Are we going to get you to sing before we go off the air? Or,
So a little couple seconds.
whatever you want, the stage is yours. We've got a microphone for you right overhead. So
Little snippet.
do we have any kind of,
Sure,
any
just
kind
a
of
little-
arrangement we can put together for that?
Just one. Okay, ready? Oh, won't you stay with me?
There you go.
Oh,
Very talented.
Little
Hey,
hangover there, my bad.
if they can play volleyball this week as well as they sing, they might have a few more weeks to place here. We'll hope it anyway, so we'll see. But again, first things first, at Marysville Getchell Wednesday. Hopefully a home match the following Wednesday night, Halloween night. Sophie, Candace, thank you very much for the
Thank you
interview.
so much.
And thank you for the singing, too. Very well done.
A little singing.
I have to say, those girls are talented at singing. Maybe you and I should come up with a song.
I don't think
Maybe
so.
not.
No, I think we'll leave
Ah,
it to
bad
Sophie
idea.
and Candace. But no, that was a lot of fun. Not
was.
only are they good volleyball players, but they do have a knack for the vocal cords. And ladies, thanks for indulging us with a little bit of a tune. We enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was really fun. Well, cross country, there was some good results to be had recently.
Yeah, since we've been off for an extra week here, we want to mention a couple different meets that took place. The Edmonds School District Championships were October 11th for boys and girls. Just to mention the top three on both sides of the equation there. For the boys, Lucas LaCambra from Edmonds-Woodway took first place, Colin Connectal from Meadowdale second place, and Dylan Hartano from Edmonds-Woodway third place. And girls, will give you a bonus name because they Edmonds-Woodway took the top four spots. No big surprise there, right? Yukino Parle first, Olivia Meter-Yetter second, Stephanie Robliski third. How many times are we going to say those three
I
names in there?
hear them all the time, yeah.
And by the way, they were way ahead of everybody else. But then also Alyssa Hershey from Edmonds-Woodway took fourth place, and I think Joan Park was fifth from Mountlake Terrace. And Edmonds-Woodway pretty dominant at that particular meet. And then the following week, which was this past Saturday, at the Wesco Cross Country Championships, which took place up at Lakewood High School in Arlington, we had an Edmonds-Woodway team that took first overall on the girls' side of things. And those same three names we just mentioned, Yokino, Olivia, and Stephanie, they took second, third, and fourth at that particular meet. And this is Wesco, so this is 3A and 4A, so 21 schools combined. We should mention also Taylor Rowe, who is a phenomenal runner, and we've mentioned her name before on here as well. Lake Stevens runner, multi-state champions, probably in contention for some national titles at some point in her career. She took first place, so nothing wrong with Yuki, Olivia, and Stephanie taking second, third, and fourth by any means. And then on the boys' side of things, the Edmonds-Woodway boys as a team took second out of 21. Mountlake Terrace took eighth. Our highest finisher for the boys was Diago Peraza, who's only a sophomore from Edmonds-Woodway. He was the highest non-senior or junior in the entire field. So congratulations to Diago on a nice outing there at Lakewood. Next Saturday coming up, we have the district championships at South Whitby High School. The following Saturday, it's November 4th, state championships over in Pasco, boys and girls. So best of luck to all of our runners from the area, and hopefully we'll be talking about them plenty over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, it just put up some amazing talent with cross country in this district.
Yeah, absolutely. And those three girls in particular, just
Yeah.
incredible what they've been able to accomplish in their career. And it'll be fun to see how they do over the next couple weeks, but it's in particular at Pasco. I mean, there might be a shot for them to have a very special weekend over there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck to them. And we are going to talk about tennis playoffs this week.
Yeah, and again, keep in mind it's boys tennis, so the state tournament doesn't take place until the spring, but right now our local tennis players are trying to qualify for that. We've got the district championships, or I should say the Wesco championships coming up at Glacier Peak Monday and Tuesday of this week, and then the districts will be at Arlington on Wednesday and Thursday. So hopefully, weather permitting, a few busy days for them, and then they can put the rackets away for a little while anyway, at least as far as high school play is concerned. I know a lot of them are playing on the side or they play at clubs and whatnot, but certainly as far as their fall seasons, that will be concluding, fingers crossed, at the end of the week, depending on what the weather does.
All right. Well, wishing sunshine and good weather for all the athletes and best of success, and we will see you soon. Thanks for joining us.